Hello everyone and welcome back to the NSDCA Mountain Dew Custom Series. This is season number 7, race number 11, coming to you from Virginia, the South Boston Speedway here in Southern Virginia. Not Boston, Massachusetts, folks. We are in the South, under the lights for 51 laps of action in the Exide Technologies 150. South Boston's become a bit of a staple here on the MDCS schedule in recent seasons, and how will these drivers fare on a bottom-feeding short track? Trying to add to the list of drivers who have won in the number 91 this season is a local hero. Stephen Wallace Jr. is from Virginia, looking to add themselves to the list of drivers who have won in the 91 this season, as I had just mentioned. The last driver to do that, starting alongside Peter Onjak. Final MDCS race of the season, his third and final here in the number 3, or fourth and final in the number 3, excuse me. Third start on a short track in the number 3 is what I was trying to say. Looking to get it done on the outside, but the outside's very tough here. Somebody who knows that was Kyle Corbett. Starts third there in the 61 for Hagen Enterprises. He was on the pole last season and led a good chunk of this race because of where he started. Cordell Smith, a driver who knows how to get around these short tracks, starting in P number 4. Two veterans, row number 3, Patrick Smith, Alex Fletcher. Behind them, we have the 65 of, I believe it is Gatlin Downey. Yes, kind of a home race for him. He's from Kentucky. And then Brandon Beal to the inside. Beal looking to turn his season around. Only top 10 of the season was his win at Daytona, 16th in the point standings for the 37. Sebastian Kukulon making the trip down from Richmond, as many of these other Cup and Truck Series drivers are. And Evan Hunter rounds out the top 10. Not going to waste any more time to get things rolling here from South Boston. Full house of a crowd is on hand. Let's get down trackside for your command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
As the field of 35 rolls off, let's take a look at the back of the grid. Francois Chastain, Archibald Buttersworth starting deep in the field, as well as John Dilks and Rose Henson. Believe this is no longer Rose Henson's final season, as they have some big plans coming up next season, so not going to be in that 17 car, but they will be around in the NSDCA. But it is Stephen Wallace Jr., Peter Onjak, a season dominated by truck and cup drivers here in the MDCS. Will it continue again here tonight in South Boston? Let's see. The green flag is out. We're underway in Virginia. Top 3 breakaway to a good start. Cordell Smith bogging up the outside line early. Stephen Wallace Jr. now clears as we're on the lap number 2 already. Rapid fire here. This is going to be a quick one tonight, folks. Corbett looking to the inside. Onjak trying to find a hole before Patrick Smith. Smith gets sent up the racetrack by Brandon Beal. Smith trying to gain on Adam Mitchell in the point standings. Can't afford to lose a lot tonight. Mitchell started deep in this field at number 83, and he's going backwards. He's almost all the way cycled out to last on the grid, trying to get underneath Christian Vargas here for about 30th place on track. Not where the 83 wants to find himself, especially if that 39's up here in the top 5. Onjak's found the bottom. He gets underneath the 61 there for second. Dusty Neal, Sebastian Kukulon, two drivers from the Mid-Atlantic, kind of south as well here. I believe Kukulon is from New Jersey, Neal from North Carolina. Cordell Smith still hemorrhaging positions, as well as Alex Fletcher, Gatlin Downey. If you're a car starting with a 6 and started on that outside line, you've done nothing but go backwards this race. Adam Mitchell, you see way back there, has finally got the bottom. Up at the front, Stephen Wallace Jr. leading by a second. Onjak trying to close in. Corbett has to run a little bit defensive now as Brandon Beal turns up the wick here in the number 37. I believe he won a Dr. Pepper Dash Series race at South Boston either last season or 2 seasons ago when the relationship with Sladek Motorsports Group began for that driver. So Beal knows how to get around this joint. Can he do it here in an MDCS car? At the front, Onjak is closing here in the number 3. The team's only been able to consistently make races with Onjak behind the wheel, and what a story it would be with a good run like this, possibly trying to get into the top 5. They haven't finished top 10 with any races yet with Onjak behind the wheel. Could it happen tonight? Still close for third. Beal putting the pressure on Corbett. Patrick Smith feeling the pressure from Dusty Neal. 2 drivers both for CFRO in the higher series. Neal swoops by easily to get himself into the top 5. Put 2 of the 3 Hagen cars in this race into the top 5 as here comes Beal for third. He's got the position easily. Corbett way up the track. Might be getting in some marbles up there. At the back, you see the 29. I believe that's Kyle Bishalia this week. Yes, it is. He's got some side damage. John Dilks, Austin Delgado, Ethan Head going nowhere. Danny Lloyd back here, third in the point standings, running deep in the field. Not where he wants to be. And Adam Mitchell's up high again. Oh, Froze Henson got to the inside. That could have been more bad news for the 83 team. But Mitchell trying to pick up ground. He's up to 22nd. Patrick Smith losing more ground there in the 39. Bobo Jones, Sebastian Kukulon have slipped by. Corbett trying to pressure Beal once more. And Onjak all over the 91. Let's go on board with the Season 1 champion. See, this is kind of a momentum-based racetrack. You see, you carry too much gas into the corner, you get out of the groove, you lose all that momentum. Car in front of you pulls away just a little bit, but oh, a big dive from Onjak through turns 1 and 2. That seems to be a strong end, but Stephen Wallace Jr. onto the gas much quicker. 3 might be set up for cornering speed. That 91 might be set up to get on the gas a little bit quicker off the corners. That really helps him on the defensive end of things. As folks, we're not even halfway yet, and lap cars you see are just right ahead. Patrick Smith continuing to fall through the order. This 39 car cannot find the bottom. Maybe it's set up a little too tight. Can't really keep the car on that white line or on the bottom of this racetrack. Oh, it's actually yellow here, excuse me. So you see Hayden Mears breaking into the top 10. And another dominant car of this season, the 28, comprised of Texas Star Racing drivers getting into the top 10. Larry Hagan behind the wheel of that. Won at the last short track on the schedule, which was Middle Georgia a few months ago. Which car is going to be suited better for traffic? Is it going to be the 91 or the 3? Is there time for the 61? Corbett back up to third. Is there time for the 69, 37 to work their way back up? Possibly get into the mix with these lap cars. Let's see as Stephen Wallace Jr. looks to pick them off. Been the undoing of some of the drivers who have dominated these South Boston races in the past here in the MDCS. Just struggling to get through lap traffic. Doesn't seem to be too much of a problem for the 91 right now. 3 wide at South Boston. Very narrow racetrack. 22, Ricky Freeman Jr. almost into the quarter panel of Charles Sanford. He backs off. Sanford gets both of them. That is the 22 and the 66. Walsh Jr.'s got 2 cars behind Onjak. That is the Onjak auto driver, Austin Delgado, not throwing team owner Onjak any sort of bones here at South Boston as we hit the halfway mark. 4 seconds separate Stephen Wallace Jr. and third place Kyle Corbett. As Neal slipping back just a little bit, Kukulon's going to get to the inside. Patrick Smith still going backwards. Where's Adam Mitchell going forwards? But now his rookie rival Dylan Young getting to the inside. They're going to go side by side for about 18th or 19th. There's Stephen Walsh Jr. and there's Onjak right to the back bumper in that 3 car. Boy, it's been a tough season for Alex Fletcher. Had a really good qualifying run, but stuck on that top side. Has lost everything he gained. And here comes Onjak to the inside, side by side for the race lead here. Just past halfway in the Exide Technologies 150. Onjak versus Wallace Jr. Who's going to have the advantage? Onjak's got the bottom, but Ethan Head... Oh, Ethan Head finally saw that blue flag posted by the starter. Stan's going to get out of the way. Stephen Walsh Jr. has to get to the bottom quickly. He'll get underneath the 89 now. Has to use some of these lappers as a pick to get back by that 3. Oh, Onjak almost on the apron because Patrick Smith is around right in front of the leaders. Oh, you couldn't put a piece of paper between the 3 and the 39. Almost had the race leaders crashed out of this one. A bunch of the field's going to be trapped a lap down, including Patrick Smith, who is looking to chase Adam Mitchell down in the point standings. Unfortunately, he's going to be a lap down, and Mitchell is on the lead lap. Making sure you might see him pinch up just a little bit here. Hoping everybody files themselves in orderly the best of their jobs, and I think that's going to be the case. Peter Onjak now in the lead of this race. Alex Fletcher separates him from Stephen Wallace Jr., and then it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars back to 3rd place. The rest of the top 10 sitting right there behind a train of lap cars. Let's get a replay, see what happened to the 39 of Patrick Smith as his day goes from bad to worse. Well, Patrick was running side by side here with Danny Lloyd. Coming through turns 1 and 2, gets out of the groove, gets up into those marbles, loses all traction, and a big hit to the right side of the 39. Mac Johnson, an incredible avoidance, as well as the 3 of Peter Onjak, not wanting to lift off, couldn't let that 91 back pass for the race lead, but hopefully the damage isn't too bad and Patrick Smith can stay up to pace. On board with your race leader, Peter Onjak. This is his view of the incident. Car in front of him, just gets straightened out just in time. If he was there just a millisecond sooner, the 3 car would have been junk. One more look at this, folks. Great heads-up driving from the 27, Mac Johnson. Oh, you didn't see it on the other angles. Did get a little bit of a piece of him, but came out a lot better than expected, I think, for Mac and the NBM team. Let's get you back to the green. Lights are out on the Pontiac pace car. We're getting set to go back green here from South Boston. Peter Onjak leads, separating a lap car from him in 2nd place. Stephen Walsh Jr. and then a bunch of cars back here to Kyle Corbett 3rd and the rest of the field on the lead lap. How does this fare? Can Onjak pull away? Can Stephen Walsh Jr. challenge once again? Let's find out, folks. We are, as I screw up the cameras, back green at South Boston. Alex Fletcher wants his lap back immediately, not wanting to waste any time. But that's big. Stephen Wallace Jr. botches turn 3. And Ethan Head says thank you very much. Gets himself back by. Back here for 3rd. Kyle Corbett still has it. Kukulon gets by. Beal Bobo Jones to the inside of the 69. Possibly to the inside of the 37 as well. Ricky Freeman Jr. up the hill. Stephen Wallace Jr.'s got his bearings underneath him once again as Onjak trying to set sail. Stephen Walsh Jr. back to the inside, not playing friendly with Ethan Head, saying, "You're a lap car. You need to get out of my way." Getting back by, as you see back here, Patrick Smith wreaking a little bit of havoc. He's holding up both of the KGM cars, who I believe both of them are a lap down. Yes, they are. Both of them currently last on track. That's horrible for that team. As Bobo Jones nearly into the back bumper of Patrick Smith. Smith almost getting turned around for the 2nd time tonight. keeps his car underneath him. His teammate, Evernham Motorsports, Stephen Wallace Jr. is there. Alex Fletcher keeping pace with the lead, too. And Fletcher wants to get his lap back if there's another caution. He's to the inside of the 3. Wallace Jr. needs to follow. Can't get there underneath the 62. Now's his opportunity. Here comes the 91 to the inside. 11 laps left at South Boston. Wallace Jr. led at the line, and he's going to have it here if he can get past the 62. Not giving Fletcher an inch. Said, thank you, but I don't need your help anymore. Moving the Belkin 62 out of the way, and SWJ looks to set sail once again in the lead. Corbett still in third. Then it is Kukelant, Bobo Jones, James Ellison up here. Good run for him. Cordell Smith, Hayden Mears, I believe. Yes. Gatlin Downey, Dusty Neal, your top 10. So all 3 Hagen cars in the top 10 for yet another short track race. And the 91 pulls away once more. Onjak having a bit of trouble here with Alex Fletcher. Fletcher blocking. Onjak getting really close to the side of the 62. Not too happy with Fletcher, who's his driver in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Onjak's really helped that Cyclone team in the past, so a little bit of a weird dynamic there, but Stephen Wallace Jr. has run for them in the past as well, so Fletcher's picking his favorites tonight, but Onjak's closed up once again, folks. Are we going to have another battle? We go back on board with the number 3 for a final time. Is there anything left in this Toyota Camry for Onjak? Trying to get by the car he won with last time out at Chicagoland. 5 laps to go left, this time by the line. What a drive by Stephen Wallace Jr. that time through turns 1 and 2. Just absolutely took off and about doubled his gap just in one corner. Wallace Jr. really seems to have saved his tires, and now it is apparent here in the closing stages as he tries to set the gap on Onjak. Back to third. Where's Kukelant gone? He's forced up high and lost a bunch of ground. Bobo Jones to 4th. Cordell Smith to 6th. James Ellison in 6th. 3 to go for the 91. Is there time for Onjak? He gained a little bit that lap. He's going to need 3 heaters left if he wants to get this done. Now, he's only got 2 left. 2 to go from South Boston, and Onjak closes. Maybe. I think he just lost everything he gained. Stephen Wallace Jr. one more time around the 4/10 of a mile short track. The fans are going to go wild, just as Onjak did a week ago. Stephen Wallace Jr. trying to get it done in his home race here in the number 91. Evernham Motorsports have gone on a tear as they prepare to leave Dodge at the end of this season. They want to leave them with a bang. Put another one in the books for the 91. Stephen Wallace Jr. wins at South Boston. Corbett 3rd, Bobo Jones 4th, Cordell Smith 6th. Patrick Smith almost gets in the wall one last time for good measure. Adam Mitchell's going to extend his points lead by probably not a lot. Mitchell comes home 19th. Patrick Smith comes home 33rd. So the ultimate wild card is next. Talladega. That's really going to be the determining factor if Adam Mitchell has this championship all but locked up, or if Patrick Smith or anyone else can get into the mix. Thank you all once again for watching another edition of the NSDCA Mountain Dew Custom Series from South Boston. Yet another thrilling event here from the short track. Next up, like you said, we go from the shortest track on the schedule to the biggest oval, I should say, Talladega Superspeedway. We will see you then. Thank you for watching.